You're listening to the School of Hard Knock Knocks podcast with me, Maury Morgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next comedian.
Shouldn't drink on an empty head, you know that, don't you?
That is the shittiest heckle I have ever heard in my life.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
What's a bucket list?
You have dangerously underprepared yourself for the shit that is about to get real.
The Nelson brothers. You've seen one? Yeah, you've seen them all. Well, that's a little unfair. They might look alike, but as you'll hear in this School of Hard Knock Knocks interview, the Nelson twins, as they're known on the comedy circuit and on Australia's Got Talent, have quite differing personalities and tastes in women. Starting out in the little town of Walbundrie, New South Wales, the twins have travelled all over Australia, Europe, Southeast Asia and most recently China, where they represented Australia by attending an international twins festival. Yep, it does exist. So buckle up, Hard Knock Knockers, for this very fast, somewhat chaotic interview with not one, but two stand-up comedians, Chris and Justin Nelson.
Ring, 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 ring. Chris, Justin, are you there, mate?
Hello.
Thanks very much. Now, those of you who listen to the School of Hard Knock Knocks probably know that I call most of my comics, or I've called all of my comics up on the phone to date. But right now, you can't see it, but the two brothers, the Nelson twins, are sitting right in front of me.
Yes, great to be here. And great to not be on the phone too. Yeah. We're here in person.
Yeah, good morning.
Do you have an inflection in either of your voices that gives it away who's who?
Not a thing.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, good luck to the people at home listening.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
There's actually only one of us here, Maury, but let's not tell people that.
That's right. Could one of you have the hiccups or something? That just makes it easier. All fantastic. Well, we were just talking before the on-air light turned on that you guys have just returned from China.
We have indeed just got back from China and 2 weeks ago and just getting over the squirts as well. We certainly are twins because we both come down with diarrhea 4.5 days into the trip.
Now, most people would go to China for the food, maybe a bit of the culture, but you went for other twins.
We did. We went for the International Twins Festival in Mojiang, which is one of the biggest twins festivals in the world.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to get invited. And apart from, as Chris mentioned, the squirts, we had a fantastic time, didn't we, Chris?
Yeah. As my grandma would say, shitting through the eye of a needle.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So lots of twins. How many hairy twins were there?
Not many hairy twins, because in China, as you would know, Maury, having lived there for as long as you have, they're not big on the facial hair stuff. Yeah, so there
just
was
one normally, don't they?
Yeah, they just have one for good luck. That's coming out of the mole. Justin and I have just got moles all over our face, so we're one big good luck hairy face. But it blew their mind, I think, didn't it? The fact that we had facial hair and there was two of us.
Yeah.
And Maury, Chris tells me before we come on air that you lived in China for 12 years. Is that true?
I did. That wasn't meant to be part of this conversation, but
mate, we can take it wherever it wants to go, mate. Yeah.
Sorry, mate, it's your show, mate. I wanted to talk about you for a bit.
Hey, thanks for joining us on your show, Maury.
No worries. Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni monsieur. Okay, we'll stay with the English. Did you do any comedy while you were there?
We did no stand-up while we were there. We just did an interview live on China. No, it wasn't live. Was it live? I don't know.
It was live.
It was live.
Yeah, it was 1.4 billion people.
Yeah.
Who have no idea what you said?
Yeah.
Well, they supposedly had no idea, but I think Justin offended them well enough that they knew what he said.
Well, the subtitles underneath are going to say something completely different.
Yeah, of course.
So.
I knew you were going to bring this up, Chris. There's a little story that comes out of our debut performance on Chinese TV. Is we were about to go live to 1.4 billion people, and the host come up to us before we went live and just briefed us on the show, and she said, when we cut to you, can you please tell 1.4 billion people in China that I'm beautiful? That was her instructions to me. So we go live to 1.4 billion people, and she speaks to me, and I said, you'd look great with a beard.
And didn't make the cut, I imagine.
Well, it was live. There was nothing they could do.
Yes, and there was about 15,000 people in the stadium at the time too who couldn't speak English, who knew what Justin said.
Yeah, you're right. And you got out of China. Fantastic.
We got out.
Yeah. So,
albeit with the squirts.
So you didn't make. Well, you made a joke in China. Have you got jokes about your trip to China ready to go here in Australia?
just starting to prep a few jokes now. We've been back 2 weeks, so it's going to take us 2 weeks just to figure out how we can get around the racist side of things.
That's true.
Yeah.
Two white blokes ripping on an Asian.
Yeah,
It's not easy.
two twins that look the same, ripping on people in China that supposedly, stereotypically look the same.
Yeah,
so
nah,
it's a
no
fine-
jokes there, no jokes there.
Yeah, well, maybe you could write for Ronnie Chung.
Maybe for Ronnie, yes, we could indeed.
Now they had. I don't know if you were there on the day, but Yunnan has a tradition of putting charcoal on people's faces.
Yes.
I was there. Chris, you were asleep in the hotel when that was going on. But
I'm not into the blackface stuff, mate.
That's what
do
I was
not
concerned.
do the
Two white
racist
blokes
stuff.
doing blackface.
It's funny you asked that, Maury, because I was ropeable. And Chris was in the hotel sleeping, right? And on the day when they had this festival, I thought I'd go out and I'd buy some new shirts because we were going to a performance that night. I thought I'll get 2 shirts that are the same and, they're nice and cheap. And I thought I'll buy white shirts. White shirts look good. And, of course, I walked out of the shop. I'd been out on the street literally 5 seconds and some kid comes up to me and puts black charcoal all over my face and all over the brand new white shirt that I put on in the shop and I decided to wear out of the shop, And I cracked it because I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it turns out it was a tradition that they do once a year.
Yep, on that day in that street.
Yeah. But so I walked all the way back to the hotel, and anyone that came near me, I threatened to punch them, and they got the message pretty quick that I didn't want charcoal.
There's a black guy in China threatening to punch people. So it hasn't reached there, Maury. Do they not sort of have an understanding of how it may offend some people? It's just their tradition. Yeah.
Oh, look, racism in China is an unknown in many ways. And I don't want to get into too much detail, but there is a toothpaste that we used to have in Australia, and I think it was produced by the Unilever or Procter & Gamble at the time. When we had it in our racist 70s and 80s of Australia, it was called Darky.
Yeah.
And it had a man with a black face. He had white face on one side, black face on the other, and a top hat.
Yeah.
You can still buy it today here in Australia, but it's called Dali.
Ah.
Now, it's called Dali in China as well, in English. But in Chinese, the Chinese character is black man's toothpaste.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Now, they've just gone, the contrast of the skin on the teeth makes the teeth look whiter.
Yeah.
I mean, look, objectively, that's probably factually correct.
Yep.
Still a little racist, though.
Yeah. Look, I found it amazing when we were walking around the street there because Justin and I captured so much attention because we're twins and we've got the beards. Yes. And people would get their cameras out and start filming us. And people would follow us and take photos. Now, if you did that in Australia to someone, you would get punched.
Would.
But they didn't have any idea. And,
I got so sick of it, so I started taking my pants off when...
But we had people following us around. Yeah. And there was one girl, I don't know if you remember, I can't remember where we were, Justin, but one girl phoned up her friend and then I could see her trying to get me in the background of the FaceTime conversation. And it made me feel really bad. And of course, she's laughing her head off.
Once again, I had my pants off. So.
But really interesting.
Yeah, massive difference from Walbundrie.
Little bit different to Walbundrie, where we grew up in country New South Wales.
Yeah, no Chinese people in Walbundrie. No ethnic people in Walbundrie.
You didn't have a Chinese restaurant?
No.
There's a Chinese restaurant in every small town in Australia.
But this town's too small.
Smaller than that.
Yeah, no, there was no restaurants. The pub, you could obviously get a steak at the pub. That was about it.
And Tuesday, Sally tried her sweet and sour pork, did she?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but often you could go into the pub and want to order something for lunch, and they say, "No, the chef's not here."
Wake him up; he's under the bar.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's where you grew up, and then we are talking about stand-up comedy. What drove you to stand-up comedy in Walbundrie? Was it that boring that you needed to?
Yeah, well, they had a nice little comedy club there in Walbundrie, so we thought we'd start a comedy career. No, I think what drove us to stand-up comedy, Chris? What drove us to stand-up?
Getting out of Walbundrie was probably one thing. I think moving to the Big Smoke at
Albury-Wodonga.
Albury-Wodonga, yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did move to Albury-Wodonga first. But as kids, we always listened to tapes and CDs of comedians that we loved, and we always thought about doing stand-up, and then it just so happened we both ended up in Melbourne 11 years ago. It was my idea, by the way. Yeah. I said, hey, Justin, let's do some stand-up, and bang, here we are 11 years later and fucking nailing it.
That's successful laugh, not irony. Laugh.
No, that's the laughter of a bloke who's just about to go to work.
Right, in the daytime.
Yeah. I was trying to avoid the conversation about me having a day job again for the first time in 5 years. But
you love it, that's why.
Yeah.
You love your day job.
I love it. Absolutely, yeah.
And for the listeners at home, Justin's still working his day job, and me, I haven't been up this early for I don't know how long, but when we organised the podcast for 8:30 a.m, I was wow,
Ridiculous. Now you went from Walbundrie to Maribyrnong, is that right, to do a show, and you did very well because the Border Post. Is that right?
Border Mail?
Border Mail, sorry.
Border Mail.
I hate the Border Post. Border Post gets stuffed.
Yeah,
Border Mail.
yeah. Border Mail.
They said you were the local homegrown talent making it big in the Big Smoke.
Yeah.
Was that your first big show?
No, that was about show number 3, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to hear about our first show, Maury?
That wasn't Edinburgh, was it?
No.
Didn't you go straight to Edinburgh?
No. Our first show was at the Comics Lounge in North Melbourne, and we brought all our mates along, and they thought we were bloody hilarious. About 100 of your mates in the crowd. The boys are up on stage doing jokes. Absolutely fantastic.
We were looking for our TV and radio deals after our first show.
Yeah,
that's how good
right.
we were.
And then the following week, we went to our second show.
No mates.
No mates. And we died a horrible death.
And that's where the learning curve of stand-up comedy started, I think, wasn't it?
Yes,
you just
indeed.
joking about Derek falling in the dam the whole time, and they were like, "Yeah, Derek falling in the dam. I remember that one. That was hilarious." And the next week they didn't get it. Who's Derek?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Do you know, I still have nightmares about that second show, and Dave Thornton was the MC who's gone on to do great things, and someone in the crowd yelled out, "Bring the MC back on."
Oh, Jesus. And I did mention Edinburgh. You have been to Edinburgh and you've performed?
Yes,
Yes.
we've been to Edinburgh. 2010 we went to Edinburgh.
Yeah, we've just finished paying that off. So.
First big comedy festival. I don't think we'd done a Melbourne comedy festival. Oh, maybe we had. We'd
We'd
done
a
one.
half show. We did a half show with Tom Seagate. But then we went to Edinburgh and we did a solo show. And geez, what a learning curve that was. Trying to get money out of the Scots.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
doing a solo show, does that mean you come on one at a time? And
Yes.
We actually, when I say we did a solo show, we actually had the great Luke Heggie open for us, and he did 5 minutes, and Luke Heggie's gone on to do great things in the Melbourne.
Brilliant comic.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And Luke did 5 minutes for us up top, and then, we did like a 45-minute show at midnight in Edinburgh. And, what an experience it was. But I have to say, probably the most enjoyable part of the comedy festival in 2010 in Edinburgh was travelling around Europe for a month after. So
I flew straight to Amsterdam from Edinburgh.
you can't remember a thing of it. Okay.
No, just a bit of reward for a hard month of comedy.
Yeah, I understand. Then, if I mention the words Australia's Got Talent, if Edinburgh was that rough, how was Australia's Got Talent?
Australia's Got Talent was good, wasn't it?
it was, Australia's Got Talent 18 years ago. How much longer can we live off Australia's Got Talent? I swear it's going to be on our tombstone when we die. These guys are on Australia's Got Talent 76 years ago. And
You made it to a weird round. It was called the Final Showdown 2. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
How can you have 2 showdowns?
I lost track of where we were at.
They had a final, a grand final, a live decider, and we just kept getting invited back.
Because they kept waiting for Justin to cry, you know. Which episode are you going to cry on, Justin?
You must have been pretty annoyed having to write new jokes every time about twins, because you've got a very narrow focus in your comedy, right?
and also not only writing new jokes about twins, but writing really clean stuff, because you're doing the show at 7:30 on TV, and you've got kids and grandparents and all that sort of stuff. So it definitely was a new experience for us.
It was, and our meetings with the producers were so funny, weren't they? We had to present our scripts every time.
What do you mean I can't call Danny Minogue a slut? I've got the evidence here.
So they'd take our scripts and the producer would just sit there with a red pen and he'd just put a line through that joke, a line through the next one. All right, boys, you've got 30 seconds of material for your next performance. But no, it was a great experience, and I think we're grateful for Australia's Got Talent because it sort of gave us the leg up that we needed.
And we've never worked for Channel 7 again. So I don't know. We must have left them with a good impression, I think, Justin.
It makes an MC's job a lot easier to introduce you when they can refer to Australia's Got Talent. And then people go, oh, yeah, those two blokes.
Yeah. I mean, we've done much more successful stuff than that, but no one knows
Yeah,
about
you've been to Yunnan, I know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you've got 2 kids. No one ever says when they're introducing Justin, they never say, here's a guy who's got 2 children.
Yeah, that's right.
Welcome to the stage, Justin Nelson. No.
I think our yellow jackets too stand out as well. So we wore our yellow jackets on Australia's Got Talent, and we've still got the same jackets 5 years on.
They have doubled in price at Queen Victoria Market.
Well, that's where we get them from.
Yeah, those bastards. They saw us coming, didn't they? Yeah. They used to be about $6 when we bought them when we were on Australia's Got Talent. Yeah, but I swear to God, they jacked the price.
Well,
every
Chinese
time we go.
busloads just get off and buy those by the headful. It's that and milk powder. You probably saw them in Yunnan. You didn't see them. So the two of you, and I've been watching you because, again, just to emphasise, if you're listening to this podcast, these 2 gentlemen are right in front of me, so I can see everything they're doing. You communicate. I don't know. There's a bit of ESP going, but there's also hand signals as well. Is that a natural thing that all twins have, or did you pick that up being in the comedy game where you've got the next line, you just flash your finger, and Justin finishes Chris's thought? Is that how it was?
It's well picked up, Maury. You're very observational there, mate. But the reason we decided that we couldn't do the interview with you over the phone is because we've done a lot of radio interviews over the years, and the cohesion between us, it doesn't work well. We're in
when you
different
can't see each
destinations.
other,
when we can't see each other. So we generally have a rule that when one speaks, the other one then speaks next. But if I want to cut in on Chris and speak, I just give him a little flash and he knows. And
when I wanted to comment how good you look for a 40-year-old dude, it was Justin's turn to speak, but I was like, I've got to cut in here and I've got to tell Maury how good he looks.
Thank God for that hand signal. My day's been made. Now, writing comedy. So the two of you obviously, hang out quite a lot together. Obviously not in the daytime.
No, we don't actually.
Maury,
You've got that wrong.
Yeah. Do your research, Maury. We never hang out, mate. No, continue your question, Maury.
I was just going to say, we're putting on a brave face here. As soon as we get out of the studio, I'll be like, right, I see you, fuckhead.
And yet you are wearing the same shirts, all similar. I mean, one's checkered. And so how do you write new material if you hate each other?
We just write separately, and then we come together and maybe do an open mic show where you go and try all your stuff.
So we send a text message.
Yeah,
Send a text message, say, what do you think of this joke? And Chris generally messages back and says, that's shit.
But we don't have an organised time to catch up with each other.
No, right.
Because I don't like going to Justin's house. It's crazy. We even though we're twins, we are very different in many ways. Justin's got
why don't you like coming to my house, mate?
Well, because last time I came to your house, I was there. I went out to see your kids, and I love my nephew and niece, great kids. And I went out there, and I'd been there 5 minutes, and Justin said, "All right, well, I'm going to go and have a snooze. I'll let you look after the kids." I was like, "Oh, fuck, man! I could have stayed at home." You feel free to comment on that, Justin. Have you forgotten?
Yeah, no, I haven't forgotten about any kids. Yeah, I was just trying to think of why I hate going to your place, but as we were talking about before, your carpet's wet at the moment. So I was supposed to stay at Chris's last night because when we do a late show, instead of me driving back to Sunbury, I'll often stay at Chris's house. But I called into Chris's house before the show, and the carpet in the spare room is wet, and I thought, well, I'm not really going to stay here. So
thank you, because if my real estate agent's listening to this right now, and I try to get my bond back when I leave, they're going to fucking use this as evidence in court.
So why is your carpet wet, Chris?
Because I put my washing machine on, went down the street to get a coffee, and my drain was blocked, and it just overflowed, and bang, next thing you know, I've got water in the
Have you
bedroom.
thought about drying it, though?
Yeah, I've had the heater on flat out, and I'm not looking forward to the bill. So anyway, this is a little side
no
issue,
worries.
Maury.
That's right. Do you mind if we sort this out, Maury? We're just going to punch on, and we'll get back to your
We've
show
got an
in a
incoming
minute.
call. Hello, is that Derek, the electrician?
No, I'll be honest. I wet the carpet so you wouldn't fucking come to my house.
Oh, well, look, whether it's China or wet carpet, you've got material, haven't you? So isn't that the point about being a stand-up comic? Any bad experience becomes material?
Yeah, exactly. It never ends for us. Because we look as weird as we do too, we're always confronted with so many different situations.
Yeah, it's right. We've had a lot of bad experiences. And I reckon that we probably haven't put all our bad experiences into jokes yet, have
Not
we?
yet.
Yeah, because we tell a lot of one-liner jokes, as you know,
Yep,
Maury, and it's hard to tell a story in a one-liner joke.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have to get straight to the point. So quite often, that's why these podcasts are great, is because we can extend on stories that of bad things things that have happened to us over
Yeah.
the years. Yeah, but yeah, mate, it's something we've got to work on, Chris, isn't it?
Something you've got to work on. I'm a flawless comedian myself, but
On stage, Chris, you're the guy that rips into Justin, or Justin rips into you?
Is it that obvious? Is it?
yeah. No, it goes both ways. It was only a couple of shows ago. You absolutely tore me a new one. I can't remember where we were, and it doesn't happen that often. Yeah, so it's always a game of one-upmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to get into Justin about his family and his girlfriend. He likes to get into me about my family and my ex-wife and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Great fun.
That's it. Yeah, your kid doesn't live with you, Chris, does he? That's it.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. No. My young fella doesn't. No. Yeah.
Right, this is a comedy podcast.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
So how many jokes are there out there about twins? I mean, are you halfway through them? Have we reached peak twin?
We've
joke
done
time?
every twin joke there is. Yeah, we've done every twin joke there is. And every now and then, look, actually, I don't even think anyone ever throws in one that we haven't heard.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest.
right. Yeah, we turn up somewhere and someone will shout out a twin cliche, double trouble, or
Yeah,
something like that.
and all right, just do patronising laughter now. Double trouble.
I'll write that down. Yeah.
Oh, I'm saying double. Oh.
How is Auntie Audrey?
Good.
Yeah, she's good. So there's still a little bit of stuff out there, but generally twin comedy is limited, is it?
Yeah, I guess in a sense the twin stuff's limited, but we like to think that we touch on other subjects as well. We've got the beard, our Jesus appearance.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff. Now that we've got kids, we've written a lot of jokes about kids and family over the last sort of 3 or 4 years.
Political, we can get political, Maury. Don't worry about that. That's good. Every now and then we'll throw a political gag in there.
Yeah, and well, when all else fails, we just go back to the cock jokes.
Oh, thank God for that. Well, you were last night. Where were you? You were performing?
Last night we were down at the Comics Lounge in North Melbourne trying some new jokes.
Yes, the
I tried-
world's 7th best comedy club, by the way. It was
There you
voted
go.
to the
Wow.
Comics Lounge in North Melbourne.
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't give it that rating because I tried 4 new jokes and none of them worked. So I would say it's the 1,000th best comedy club.
Don't blame the comedy club on your lack of ability, please, Chris. Yeah.
So where are you? What's coming up on the agenda?
Coming up for us, Justin, we have the
are-
Beard and Mustache show on the weekend.
We
don't
are at the Ballarat Beard and Mustache Club having a big beard competition in which we are hosting and judging, and then we're off to Donald. Yeah, so we only do the big gigs these days. So.
I have no idea. Is that a place? Is it? Donald?
Yeah, Donald. So it's,
Yeah,
I think
not
it's
your
about,
mate's house.
Yeah. We're going to Donald's for a gig in his lounge room.
Yeah, so that's just a footy club past Players Day. So that's
Beautiful.
our weekend done.
And with the beard thing, are you going to wax and wind it up and make it all?
We
don't
should
know.
get some free product, I reckon.
Yeah,
while
we
we're
should
there.
do. Yeah, I'm not sure what they've got in store for us. As long as it doesn't involve a razor, I'm happy to do anything. Yeah, the beard stays, but more than happy for them to do a bit of work on it.
Bit
for
of
sure.
maintenance.
Yeah,
A bit of
why
beard
not?
maintenance.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we are coming to the end, and I always ask my guests if someone wants to get in contact with the two of you, how do they do so? How do they bring you in if they're not, like Donald?
Well, you're our new manager, Maury, so they can
Yeah.
get in touch with you through the podcast, mate. But otherwise, go to our website, nelsontwins.com.au. Is there an AU on the end of it?
I think there's an AU.
Yeah, I think we-
Otherwise, phone Justin. Don't phone me. It's 0417 502 538.
That's right, yeah.
And he prefers calls at 2, 3 a.m. That's
Yeah.
when he likes to do the bookings. So ring then. Hey, Maury, thanks for joining us on your podcast, mate. Much appreciated.
This has been great. I've really enjoyed it. I might be coming back here again if it wasn't for the hour tram ride. But I do. Well, thanks very much, gentlemen. It's been a privilege to be in your company.
Pleasure. Thank you, Maury.
Good on you.
Thanks.